think we are live. Hard to tell. Here we go. Yes, we are. Amazing. All right, let me share this real quick. Oops, oops. Oh. Mhm. All right, here we go. Hello, hello. All right, today we have a fun one, as always. As always. How to stop wasting time on random content. How many of you are throwing that spaghetti at the wall? What I like to say. I learned that when I was in college. And I literally throw spaghetti at the wall when I make spaghetti now because it cracks me up. Give me a spaghetti down below if you guys do that. A wall. Maybe that's easier to spell. Just give me a wall if you throw spaghetti at the wall when you're making spaghetti to see if it's ready. I never heard that until I was in college, and I still do it. I love it. Let's me. Let's go to. um, Give me squinting. That's me trying to pretend like I don't wear glasses. Here we go. All right, so this is the biggest, maybe not the biggest, but this is one of the things that I see that everybody's doing is we know we need to create content. We know we need to get stuff out there. So you just start putting stuff out there. Like there are the ones who post like every single thing that they do, like at every minute of every day. And like I don't care what you ate for breakfast, even though, especially when you're not like a nutritionist type thing, that or everything's about their cat, their dog, or their kids. Again, I love my little mahi, but you don't want every single post to be about that either. So they're kind of the people in that are just posting to post. And then there's the ones that just kind of randomly post stuff about what they do, but there's no real clear reason why. So tell me if you fall into the A, the B, the C, just a lot of other random things that people do. We'll go over a couple more as we go on. Or if you're like D and you're like, I just post exactly what I need to post, when I need to post it, and my posts rock. Let me know if you're a D and if you are converting from those posts. I'd love to hear that too. And if you are one of those, tell us what you're doing. We want to hear about it. All right. So today we're going to talk about like how to go from totally scattered, throwing that spaghetti against the wall, content creation to strategic, aligned messaging. And I want to repeat that messaging because your content is a lot about what you have to say and why you're saying it. And that's your messaging, right? The messaging is what you're going to use to connect, convert, connect, and convert. Connect means create those connections. Relatability is good there. It's the problems that are in their head. We talk about that a lot. And then the converting is like move them along. If they don't know that you offer that next step, how are they going to get it, right? How can you do that? We'll talk about some of those ways today. And when you do that over and over and over, it compounds over time and it will start to work. So consistency does, sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. I'll try not to do that the entire time. Consistency doesn't work without clarity. So if your content doesn't lead them somewhere, it's just more noise out there. Noise, noise, noise. All right, so we're going to go over a simple framework that we've talked about before. Let's see if you guys can guess the acronym as we go. The first one, well, let's reverse a little bit. Let's talk about, so what I see most of the most of the time when we realize we're in this problem is number one, we're not converting, right? Number two, you feel like you're so burnt out but you're not necessarily burned out from the content, because if the content was working, it would energize you, right? And that would create a momentum and you'd get excited about it. So when we hear that people are so burnt out from creating so much content, it's probably because the content's not doing what they want it to do. How many of you burnt out? All right, so when you've got that content chaos, you're really just wasting time because you're getting zero results. And I hate to say that. Okay. Nothing is ever a waste of time. You're learning maybe what not to do. Maybe you're learning what content isn't working, possibly, but more than likely it's because it's a combination of things and you're not doing them all together at the same time. And so it's not moving them where you want them to go. All right, so the big problem, you're showing up, but it's not leading to sales. Say I, say A if you're that one. Showing up, but it's not leading to sales. We'll go with B. You've got tons of content, but no clear path for your audience. That's B. C, you're starting from scratch every time. One of my favorites. Or D, it's not you, it's your system or lack of one. So you don't have a system and therefore things don't get out. I've been all of these at one point in time or another. So if you need help with any of them, hit me up. All right, the first letter is S. Structure your week. This is so important. You want to know what you're doing when you're doing it. If you're batching content, like I plan the content on this day. So example, like maybe you choose your 3 content types: value, story, and CTA, meaning you move them to something. So Monday you teach, Wednesday is a more relatable type thing, story, right? And Friday you sell. And when we say sell, it doesn't have to be your program. It could be a freebie, right? It could be that, whatever it is. It could be sell. Maybe you're moving them into something, but however you want to see it, you want to do different types of content as often as you can, so that, you know, if you're in, everybody knows I have an education background. So if you're into teaching, right, everybody learns a different way. Some people like videos. Some people like, you know, just the audio. Some people like the over the shoulder or the step-by-step, the PDF. You know, I'm kind of like the kinesthetic. I like it all. So, so you want to do the same thing with your content. Don't just do one type of content, because some people will gravitate towards other types of content. I personally gravitate towards the teaching content more than anything. So I have to remind myself not to do that all the time, right? So pick your 3-day posting rhythm. What are you going to, and if you're only posting one day, then just pick one. But if you're posting 7 days, pick different ones every day, right? What types of posts are you going to post? That really, really helps. And then the next one, that is structure your week. And maybe listen to the rest before you actually structure your week and see more or less. But you want to know what types of posts you're doing every day. All right, the next letter is I. Identify 4 themes. So you want to pick 3 to 5 themes that align with your offers. Let's repeat that. Align with your offers. So if you have one offer, you want every theme to go towards that one offer. And if you have 7 offers, I would encourage you, if you're having problems, to take a look and just scale it back. One offer is really all you need. I mean, look at all of the big companies and the big people in our world. They all started with one offer and they did it again and again and again, year after year. They're probably still doing it. Why? Because it works. So scale it back. Even if you have 3 or 4 offers, you want to move people just to that one. So just encouraging you to choose one offer and then have 3 to 5 themes that all move towards that one offer. So what could those themes be? Things like belief shifts, FAQs, objections, behind the scenes, success stories, these types of things, right? So you want to pick those and use those in your content. So now you've got, right, whether you're going to teach it, whether you're going to do a story type, what that type of thing, then you're going to, like you're going to do belief shifts or whatever. You have all of these down, right? And then your own 3 to 5 content themes, which is the 3 to 5 that are going to lead to those offers. So like what you're actually talking about also. You want to do both of those. All right. Then the M is map content to your offers. You want to know what that looks like. So every post needs to point to a product, a program, or a lead magnet. And if you're doing a lead magnet, the lead magnet needs to be at the beginning of the flow, right? The lead magnet is going to go to where? Where is that going to lead them to? Maybe it leads them to a call. Maybe you capture their email and you lead them to emails that lead them to a call. Whatever it is, you need to map out that flow. And if you follow what I do, like a lot of times I'll tell you, like if you're trying to get conversations, give them the lead magnet in the DMs. That doesn't mean that now you don't have their email. So what does that mean? You still want to know that flow because you need to know the flow of those DMs, right? What are you going to do with them in those DMs to move them? Remember, your fastest path to cash is always a conversation. So if you're not closing people in the DMs and you're closing them on a Zoom, then that's where you're moving them to, right? And then you're moving them to your program. So always want to know exactly what that flow looks like. So M is map content to your offers. And if it doesn't map to an offer, don't do it. Don't put it out there. Now I hear you. You're like, but I want to talk about myself and my personal stuff and blah. Okay. I would say every now and then throw one of those in, but you can include that with the content about your business. Just my thoughts, but you can include stuff about you when you tell stories, in here, you guys, this is a teaching one, but you learn a lot about me if you listen to a lot of these, right? So you know my dog's name, you know that I walk my dog every morning, that I listen to podcasts, that I love the ocean, whatever. You know a lot about me if you listen to these over and over and over again. So you can include the stuff about you. It doesn't mean I'm not, saying that, but every single thing we need to do should be intentional. Our time is the most precious resource that we have, the most expensive resource that we have. So we want to guard that time with everything. And the best way to do that is, be intentional about everything that you do. So every post needs to lead to a product, a program, a lead magnet, a call, whatever. If it doesn't move someone closer, it's content for content's sake, and that is throwing spaghetti at the walls. Sorry. All right, so let's talk about a quick action you can take based on those. List 3 freebies or 3 types of posts or 3 something that are going to lead to your offers. Offer if you only have one, right? But maybe you have different ways to get to the same offer. So your offer could be a lead magnet, it could be a call, it could be a different lead magnet, it could be a quiz, whatever. It could be a webinar, conversion events, the best. It could be, just these teaching things that I do, whatever it is. List 3 that move people closer. That's what you're trying to do. And make sure every single post connects to one of those. So you want to make sure every single post connects to one of those. All right, plan by, this is the next one, key. So we're at SIM key. You can't guess it by now. You're making me nervous. Drop it down below. All right. I have the same energy. I just can't speak higher because it makes me calm. All right. So P is plan by topic, not by platform. And I know you hear a million times that, it's got to be different for every platform. That may be true. And when you have a team like Gary Vee, I say go for it. But for the moment, plan by topic. Start with one message. What is it that you want somebody to hear? What is it that you want somebody to feel? What is it that you want somebody to know about you? Start with that one message and then repurpose that everywhere. And I know a million people will tell you, oh, you can't use the same content. I call BS on that one, number one. And number two, when you do not have 400 people on your team, you just don't. You still need to be everywhere. So don't stress yourself out about that. Choose one or two platforms that you thrive on, that you love, and that's where you're going to mainly engage, but you can still put that content everywhere else. So take a reel, like if reels are your jam, you're like, I love doing reels. I do reels all the time. Take your reels and turn them into other forms of content. And you can get, first hire should be a little VA or something, right? You can get a VA to do that for you. Turn those real, and if you're doing it yourself, do that, set out time when you plan your week, set out time for this, for the repurposing time. And what are you going to do? You're going to take that reel, you're going to make it a carousel. Right. You're going to make some caption quotes. You're going to make some quote posts. You're going to make some captions. You're going to make some emails out of it. Whatever it is, you can take one thing and move it into a bunch of different things. So choose one message and brainstorm 3 formats. So one message, 3 formats. And then take those 3 formats and repurpose them to the different platforms. Do you see where I'm going with that? And okay, so not every type of format you're going to put everywhere. So if you do long form video, maybe you don't put that on Instagram, maybe you don't put that on LinkedIn. But if you pull something out of that, then you can. You see. So take your one message and your one type of content that you love doing, and then create the other pieces. And I know most people say it needs to be a piece of long form content. And I agree. Like if you do long form, then that should be the one piece of content is the best. But if you don't do long form, then make it your reel. Get it from your reel. Like I just laid it out. I laid out the reel because some people think, oh, I can't do this, because you can. I promise you. If you only do written content, you can do faceless reels. You can do carousels. There's a ton of stuff you can do with it. So just get creative. All right. L, leverage a content bank. Store your ideas for one. Store ideas, store hooks, store CTAs, objections, stories. And if you're super duper geeky, store it in an Excel so you can do searches for it. You're like, oh, I want to talk about this. I need a story that does that. Search, right? Oh my God, I just thought of like the best idea. We'll talk about that later. All right. I gotta write it down. So if you can lay all that out, it makes it so much easier. Okay, so in case you're wondering, I'll just tell you what I was thinking of, but a way to like link them all together. When I said that, I used to have this book, and it had 3 different, it was like a spiral, and it had 3 different things. And one was like the hook, one was the story, and the other one was the ending or something like that. And you would pick it out. It was for language, practicing language. How cool would that be if you had a hook and then you had like some sort of content piece and then the CTA or something? Oh, love it. All right. Anyway, quick action. Open up a Google Doc or your Notion board or wherever, Excel, spreadsheet, Airtable, whatever you do, and start your content vault. Put it in there. And I'm going to tell you like what I just said, if you're going to get super geeky on it. Always use keywords. You want to use keywords with everything you do so that they're searchable. And that way you can kind of connect the dots as you go. It really, really, really helps. All right. E, eliminate the noise. Stop trying to do it all yourself. So noise might be throwing that spaghetti at the wall, right? Noise could be you trying to do everything and getting overwhelmed. So stop trying to do it all. Pick one platform, one strategy, go all in on that, and then repurpose. How does that feel? A lot different, right? A lot different. So pick that one. And if you don't have team, if you cannot repurpose, then just do the one. Don't stress yourself out. Like focus. The reason I'm saying this is so me. Like I am like, oh, well, I can't do anything because I need to do everything. I'm like the um, overwhelm queen of the overwhelm, right? So what you want to do is streamline that. I don't know if you've ever read any of the habit books, but that's one of the things that they teach you in the habit books is like, if you want to run a marathon, you can't set out to run a marathon, right? Like if you're a couch potato, you want to create those small routines that you can get into and build on those. Same thing. So let me go with that. They say, every day, put your shoes on and that's it. Take them off and you're done. Do that until every day you're used to putting your shoes on. Then every day, put your shoes on and, walk to your mailbox and come back, take your shoes off, you're done until you get in a routine of doing that and then add to it, add to it, add to it. That might be a little bit slow for me, but you get what I'm saying. If you make it smaller, you'll actually do it and then you can add to it. And that's key. I mean, really, 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 if you take nothing else out of that, that is huge. So if you're overwhelmed by repurposing, if you're overwhelmed by how much content you need to create, well, scale it back. Just say, I'm going to focus on Facebook and I'm going to create one post a week. Do that for a couple of weeks. I'm going to focus on Facebook and I'm going to create 3 posts a week. Do that for a couple of weeks, right? And then I'm going to focus on Facebook and I'm going to post 5 times a week, or I'm going to focus on Facebook. I'm going to post 3 times a week. And then I'm going to repurpose one piece of content to Instagram, whatever, however you want to do it, but go slow and get it done rather than, go big or go home, which is one of my favorite phrases, but that can keep you stuck or spinning for a long time. Same. Been there, done that. So what you want to do is try to scale it back as much as you can and then start from there and do it until you're doing it consistently and then add on to it. And add on, like all in on that same platform if you want to, and then add other platforms. All right. So stop wasting time on random content. What you want to do is keep it simple. That was our acronym. So it's structure. So structure your week, identify, the types of content you want to do, map out what you're going to do every single day. The flow, map out that flow, right? Plan by content, not by platform. I think that's huge. Then the L was leverage a content bank. So get that content bank going. And then the E is eliminate the noise. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Keep it simple, right? That's why it is the simple plan. All right, if you want have a simple content planner, if you want that, just drop simple underneath this video and I will send it right over to you. If you have any tips or tricks that you're using right now, drop them down below. And if you do any of your quick actions, tag me in it. I want to hear about it at Erica Leary ATL for Atlanta. All right, I'll see you then. Next week, we'll be back. I don't know what the topic is. Let's see if I have any. Oh, I do. Hold on, let's see. Oh, the #1 shift that will simplify your business. Ooh, this is a good one. Okay, I'll see you next week.